Coming up on Golden State Warriors today by Chat Sports, I'm your host, Chase. We're going to explain why Andrew Wiggins is so valuable for this basketball team, both moving forward and what he's done so far in the Bay Area during his short and very, very impressive tenure. Also going to react to some ridiculous Andrew Wiggins trade ideas I saw on the internet. Let me just start by saying I would not trade Andrew Wiggins, but I'm just going to gash and thrash all of those ridiculous Andrew Wiggins trade ideas. We'll get to that on the back end of the show. Before we get started, the race is getting closer. When the Warriors won the NBA championship, Warriors today had 30,000 subscribers. We've picked up 14,000 subs since then. We're about 4,000 subs away from overtaking the Los Angeles Lakers report. It's a great rivalry on the floor in the NBA and here inside the walls of Chat Sports. If you want the best, most informative, most entertaining Warriors content that you'll find on the entire internet, the solution is simple. Just hit that red subscribe button down below. We start with the latest on Andrew Wiggins, set to make $33.5 million in the final year of his contract. His status moving forward with this organization, unknown. According to reports, the Warriors ideally would like to retain him and sign him to a long-term deal. But because of his play this past year, making it to his first All-Star game, being the Warriors' second-best player in the NBA Finals, another team following this year could be willing to pay Wiggins, because of his two-way threat and two-way ability, about $200 million per year, and the Warriors might not be able to afford that. But I thought what Steve Kerr said recently, calling Wiggins a foundational piece, was somewhat notable, because he understands the impact and the imprint he has on this basketball club. And last year, it really did display just the overall growth of Wiggins since somewhat of a tumultuous stint with the Minnesota Timberwolves. First All-Star appearance, and not just in the NBA Finals, but the entire duration of the playoffs. I thought Andrew Wiggins was fantastic. You look at the numbers at how they stack up against one another, both in the regular season, 73 games played, and then throughout that playoff run en route to the championship. Points per game down, rebounds up though. Wiggins' defense was better. The shooting numbers still pretty solid. I thought it was more about what Wiggins was doing when he was doing it. Coming through when the Warriors needed it, coming through in the guts of the game, just playing clutch basketball. And most notably in the NBA Finals, it was Wiggins and that athleticism skying for rebounds that extended possessions and halted possessions against the Boston Celtics, and it ended up changing momentum in a couple of instances. And when you think about Andrew Wiggins on this team, this year, last year, as we progress forward, are there any negatives to having him on this club? Fits seamlessly on the Warriors alongside Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and Jordan Poole. He's in a perfect offensive role right now. He'll never be the number one overall pick that will lead you to a championship by himself, but as a number 3, as a number 4, shoot, some nights a number 1 or 2, he fits very seamlessly on this Warriors roster. Legitimate two-way ability. We saw him just put forward a masterful defensive performance against Jason Tatum in the finals. Good athleticism, which is going to age well in my opinion. And in that championship round, scored, rebounded, defended at a really high level. Now, my take with Andrew Wiggins, he's too valuable to trade because he fits too perfectly with what the Warriors want from some of their complementary pieces and what they already have. Let's face it, this isn't a Warriors team that is going to be rebuilding anytime soon. They're not going to need to retool because Steph, Klay, Draymond, and Jordan Poole, they're still playing great basketball, and obviously Poole so much younger. But also, there's this. Will a team come swooping in and steal Andrew Wiggins from Golden State's grasp, offering him a contract around $200 million? The Warriors might be able to offer him a deal between 30 and 40, but another team might overpay. And if Wiggins wants to secure that payday, would he bolt and leave a good situation for more cash, or would he stay because the basketball situation is great and he'd still be making a lot of money? What do you think Bob Myers and Golden State should do? I want you to get into the comment section and let us know. S for sign, T for trade. Chime in, join the conversation. I want to hear from all of you right now. Next up on the show, we'll get to those aforementioned bogus Andrew Wiggins trade ideas. But first, you can also consume and take in our Warriors content on Rumble in addition to YouTube. And there are changes and differences in the platform. On Rumble, Videos are free. We put out free daily videos. Play in picture. Rumble has it. YouTube doesn't. Petey's Polos. You can see them on YouTube and Rumble. Uncensored content. YouTube doesn't have it. We do here on Warriors Today on the Rumble side of things. The Petey joke, that's just a joke that we have inside the walls here at Chat Sports. He's a real one, though. If you're a real one, comment. That means that you're listening. Okay, to those bogus trade ideas. This coming from NBA Analysis, and I saw it. Somebody sent it to me, and they were like, you think that the Warriors would trade Andrew Wiggins for any of these players? I looked at the list. I looked at these 3 trade ideas that we're about to discuss, and I said no, or at least I hope the answer is hell no. Warriors, Rockets with this first trade. Warriors receive Eric Gordon, Jayshawn Tate, Kenyon Martin Jr., and a 2023 first-round pick. Jayshawn Tate just re-signing with Houston, good player. Eric Gordon last year, 40% from 3. But to me, when I look at this trade, you're getting a lot, but you're losing even more. And the only reason you're getting a lot is because of the 3 players. You can't make up for the loss of Andrew Wiggins in this trade. So I wouldn't make this one. And then we'll continue to go through all of these trade ideas, Seeps. Another bogus trade idea. This one, a deal between the Golden State Warriors and the Philadelphia 76ers. This one may be the closest one that I would maybe think about doing among the 3 that we're breaking down here, only because I would be running the risk of potentially losing Andrew Wiggins if he were to leave in free agency for nothing. So why not get back a player or get back some semblance of value in a guy like Tobias Harris, who can give the Warriors a lot of similar things that Wiggins was able to bring. Not as good of a defender, not as good of an athlete, better scorer, better shooter of the basketball. So you get pluses there, and then that 2029 first-round pick. This last one, I also don't like it. Deal between the Warriors and the Dallas Mavericks. Spencer Dinwiddie is a pretty solid backup guard. Tim Hardaway Jr. is a decent shooter who can occasionally get hot and light it up from the outside, but he's far too inconsistent for me. And you get that 2025 first-round pick. Wiggins to the Dallas Mavericks. Dallas would love it. They would make this deal in a heartbeat, but they don't have the necessary assets to give up for a player the caliber of Andrew Wiggins for all of the reasons that we talked about earlier on today's show. So to round it all out, I wouldn't deal Andrew Wiggins. I'd like to see him remain in Golden State because I think his role is so perfect for how this roster is constructed. But would you make any of these trades? If you would, let me know which one you would choose. We just ran through all 3. Give me a 1, 2, or 3. Which trade idea would you make if you think that it betters the Warriors basketball team? And before we hop on out of here, make sure you subscribe to us here on Golden State Warriors Today. Not only do we want to catch up to the Los Angeles Lakers report by Chat Sports, but we want to continue to be the best, most counted on, most dominant Warriors channel that you can find anywhere on YouTube and Rumble. And if you stack our numbers up against any other Warriors channel throughout this entire offseason, I'm putting my money on us because I think our coverage is the best and I think our numbers have been the best. So join the Dub Nation family here at Chat Sports by hitting that red subscribe button down below. And as always, thanks for making the show a part of your day.